Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrexit. Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, our Prime Minister, the woman with the flattest backside in the UK, pencil neck tin Lizzie Truss, has been humiliated in the Houses of Parliament, looking like a ghostly figure sat there like Billy No Mates in the middle of a full chamber. Unbelievable. Even the Washington Post has remarked, why is newspapers in Britain comparing the Prime Minister to a lettuce? Just, President Biden has come out and said, oh, I told you that shit wouldn't work, giving a load of money to rich people, right? While just dismissing the poor. He said, I told you that shit wouldn't work. And then you have to say, well, friends like Penny Mordaunt, who needs enemies? Because Liz Truss sent Penny Mordaunt into the House of Parliament yesterday to talk on her behalf. And Penny Mordaunt, Dan already told the people, well, Liz Truss, right, is in a meet. She's got important things to do, which got burst of laughter within the House of Parliament, because obviously Liz Truss should have been in the House of Parliament to give to go and take questions from MPs herself. But obviously you saw the press conference where she took 4 questions and then ran out of there like a small child because she couldn't get no more sweets. Right? And she looked like she was ready to cry in that interview when she does those 4 questions on Friday. It was just everything about this woman's premiership so far has been completely humiliating. But Penny bloody Mordaunt, right? One of the I think one of the Labour said to her, "Where is Liz Truss? Was she hiding under a desk?" And Penny Mordaunt knows better, right? And I'll say this because you know what, right? At this point, you have to think to yourself, with humanity, right? Lefties feel sorry for Liz Truss because we've got humanity, right? Even though, right, we're enjoying the embarrassment, but on a human level we've got to feel sorry for this woman because she's really getting it, right? And with friends like Penny bloody Mordaunt, right, who's looking to be the next leader herself, because Penny Mordaunt, she's just in the background and she's like, oh no, we've got full support behind Liz. Oh, we're fully behind her, right? We're right behind her flat backside. Yeah, right. So Penny Mordaunt, instead of ignoring the slur, ignore the slur and decide it's ridiculous. What you say? That's ridiculous. You don't come back and say, oh no, she's not hiding under a desk. That's not right. Right? You wouldn't find Tory MP saying Boris Johnson didn't hide in a fridge. They'd just be like, oh come on man, that's ridiculous. So you don't repeat the slur. Because you repeat the story, now you're giving it legs, right? Now it's got its own story. Now the story starts to move along, right? If you notice someone like Boris Johnson, he's very good at swerving the slurs, right? Because if you put in bus about Boris Johnson now, right, instead of like the bus, the Brexit bus, right, you'll get a load of images of buses, right, where Boris Johnson, like these are painted buses. Probably not by him, but you'd probably get a load of painted buses because Boris Johnson said he made buses out of bear crates or something like that. But you have to think, well, why would Penny Mordaunt even go there like that? But she's going there like that because this woman wants to be the leader. That's why she's going there like that. But then, you have to say, well, you know what? Who cares that Liz Truss has been humiliated in this fashion? Look what she's done to Kwarteng, right? A man who looks like, when he's in a suit, it looks like it's still on a hanger. Just look at him. The next time you see him, just look at him. The clothing still looks like it's on the rack. Right? When you look at, right, the man looks like he's just like from his shoulders, just straight down. Right? I've never seen, right. It don't look like there's any shape to his body. That's what it don't look like. There's no shape, right? But poor Kwasi Kwarteng. Right, a man who's been completely humiliated. And the thing is, right, you know how my mind works, because my mind sees a lot of stuff, right? And I just think, well, you know what, the Tories have wanted to do this type of Singapore on Thames for a long time, right? They've wanted to do that for a long time, and they've just probably looked for the for two people that they could just we'll try it with them and see what happens. Right, so up steps Kwarteng because they had to find themselves a black sea. Don't tell me that's a new word for you now, right? He's a blacksy. That's a black patsy, right? So, because listen, because in African and Caribbean in households, yeah, if you're like, if you're the bad one in the family, then you're not the black sheep of the family. Obviously, you'd be the white sheep of the family, yeah. We've got pictures of black Jesus in our households, right? So that's why a black person who's a patsy, the blacksy. So that's up steps Kwarteng, right? Or token, right? Because that's another one, right? Which is an old-fashioned English saying, right? Token black. It's like where you'd have like 6, 7, 8, even 10 white guys out, and they've got one black guy with them because he's the token, right? And if I watch like some really I watch some really intellectual TV, right? So, right, there's one in, I can't remember which one it is. It's either in South Park, Family Guy, or American Dad. But there's a black guy in there who's one of the kids' friends called Token. Told you I watch intellectual TV, right? But even in, there's a film with 50 Cent in it. I don't know, I'm going right off track here. There's a film with 50 Cent in it, right? And there's a guy, right, or Fiddy, right? There's a guy, right, in there, and he says, like, a white guy, and he's speaking to this young white woman, right? So he says to her, listen, because everything's going south at the moment. Obviously, if you're in the north, if you're in the south, things go north, right? But everything's going south right for them now, right? So he's so the guy's gone to this white woman. He's gone to her. Listen, the nigger is the expendable part of this plan, or word to that effect, right? And I just thought, something, right? Many a true word, right, said in movies and in jest. Right? When you see those type of things. But anyway, Kwarteng, I think this poor fool's been set up from the beginning, because these people were just looking for a patsy or a blacksy, right, to be say, you know what, we'll try this thing and see what happens, and see whether or not, right, this person, right, this can work in this country, and see what happens. We're getting to put the budget in, right? The black guy and the blonde, get them to do it, right? And something, if there's any humiliation, we'll just put it on them, right? So this is what could have happened to Kwasi, really, right? Because everyone in the cabinet, yeah, agreed with that budget. All of them. The Daily Mail come out and said, oh my God, finally a true Tory budget. That's what the Daily Mail said. So they all agreed with it, right? And then what happened? As soon as the country was like, what the fuck? They just said that threw Kwarteng under the bus and made him the shortest lived Chancellor, right? And he happens to be a motherfucking black guy, and we still got to apologise for that shit, even though they've done it on purpose. Because you know what? If Kwarteng had any sense, he would have said, listen, nah, I'm not putting that through. Nope. But no, right? And then, for even more humiliation, they thought, you know what we'll step up, because it's the 1922 committee that have just said to just pull this truss in and said, listen, this is not going well, right? This is what you're going to do: sack Kwarteng, right? And we're gonna put in Hunt, right? Jeremy motherfucking Hunt, Jeremy Hunt, right? Jeremy Hunt rhymes with see you next Tuesday. And he really is a see you next Tuesday. This was the worst health secretary ever. And if you get replaced by Jeremy Hunt, then you have fucked up, right? Because you know what? They could have only humiliated you more, right, by either bringing in Gavin Williamson, right, or Chris motherfucking Grayling. That could have only been worse. That could have only things worse that they could have done, right? Other than fucking Jeremy Hunt. Because this fool, right, is the most incompetent motherfucker ever. Jeremy Hunt is a dick. And they replaced the black guy with Jeremy Hunt. That shit is humiliating. But if you think, right, that is bad enough, right, they've, Jeremy Hunt, the ex-health minister, they've put in a new health minister, right, a woman who thinks that everybody should have a slither of cake with every meal. And her sliver of cake would be a whole Victoria sponge, full size. Therese Coffee. And I'm still waiting for more hip hop names for Therese Coffee, but up steps Therese Coffee. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go for all the messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So we're going to go over to America. We're going to start in America. I believe we're going to start in America. Right, with Donald Trump, who has said it was black Democrats who stole the election from him. So we can get to steal elections, but we can't get the fucking Jewish space lasers. We can get we can't get the space lasers, but we can steal elections. I don't even know how that works. What the hell? You see these things. He can just put these things out now because at the moment, right, Donald Trump, he's got to go really extreme. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people, they've got to go really, really extreme at the moment to try and bring that real racist crowd. But I've just said, well, that real racist crowd, right? The people who claim, well, I'm not like them. I just vote for them because I like their policies. Yeah, right. Of course you do. And I say, because I once said to them, what policies of Donald Trump's, right, was it that's really helped you out? And at which point they're like, because there are none. Donald Trump never brought in any policies that helped any of them out. He brought in some tax cuts for rich people, but you can't name me any policies that Donald Trump brought in, right? And if you look at Biden now as opposed to Donald Trump, there's loads of policies Biden's bringing in that's helping people. I mean, just his infrastructure plan alone, right? Literally every single state, right, is asking for money for that, because there's things that they need in their states. With Medicaid, he's done things with drugs, prescription drugs, so much different things. Do you know what I mean? And so he's got a long list. Donald Trump has no list, but Donald Trump can start. He's just got to go extreme, and obviously now black people have stolen the election from Donald Trump. I'm sure if black people had stolen the election from Donald Trump, right, that he would have got a few of those cases through court. I'm quite sure of that. I stand with Donald Trump and racism. Donald Trump has gone on a Jewish rant, right? Donald Trump is upset with Jewish people for not praising his ass. He says the Jewish people in Israel just praise him, but this man went on an anti-Semitic rant about Jewish people, right? It's it just shows him and Kanye West are good friends, but you see, so many Jewish people vote for Donald Trump. I can never work this out. A lot of Jewish people, they vote for Donald Trump and they vote for people like Boris Johnson. I would love to work that out. Right? I would love, that for me, that's just this is a white thing, right? You think to yourself, well, you know what, we're safer with the white people, even though, right, black people and Jewish people have always lived in the same areas. Always, because Jewish people know that they're very safe around black people and Asian people. They know that. Right? But when it comes down to it, right, when they're living in a complete white area, once it's found out that they're Jewish, then that always becomes a problem for them. Always. It will always, because now they become a target. So, but as I said, a lot of them still vote. A lot of them still vote for people like Donald Trump. And Rudy Giuliani, I mean, this man's career has gone from from being America's mayor, right, to being whatever the hell he is now, right? A man who had hair dye running down his face, right, and completely humiliated himself, and Donald Trump not paying his ass after he was up there doing all Donald Trump's dirty work. But Rudy Giuliani says that Christopher Columbus wasn't a murdering scumbag. He was very helpful. He went over, right, and he helped the people, right, and then what happened was 40, 50 years later, that's when all the bad stuff happened, right, when he was already gone. So yeah, okay, so you people really want to change the history, right, with critical race theory, right? And what you got to remember, yeah, is books, right, are the videos of the past. And the books say that Christopher Columbus was a racist, murdering scumbag, right, slave trading arse, right? That's what books say. I don't know. But then Rudy did go and say, well, these people, they was like, savages who was murdering each other. So, so the best thing you can do in that case is go over and murder all of them. I don't even think these people see the irony in their ridiculous arguments. I mean, they're trying to like hide history. I mean, if you yourself, well, stop trying to hide history. History is always going to be there. I mean, it's never going to go anywhere. Right? You're not going to be able to hide from it. And the Republicans, they've been asking, why Nancy Pelosi? There's a guy named Steve Scalise, right? I think he's a congressman, but he's saying, why is Nancy Pelosi, right? What was she doing? The reason why we're not joining this January 6th committee is because people like Nancy Pelosi, what was she doing on January the 6th? Why wasn't she calling in the National Guard and, calling in more police and all these things? Why wasn't she doing that? These are questions that need to be asked, right, by the January 6th committee. And all this time, right, because he's been saying this was months ago, and all this time, right, the Democrats are just like, okay, if you want to go down those lines, go down those lines. Because they showed these people up to be the absolute scum that they are. Because that's what Tories, that's what Conservatives are all over the world. Right? When you got Conservatives, these people are scum, right? And they fully rely, right, on the selfishness of other people to vote for them. That's what they rely on, because they know that the people who vote for them are scum in the same way that they are scumbags. These people are evil, right? And they should never be allowed to be in politics anywhere in the world, right? Because they are evil scumbags, right? These people, right? Steve Scalise in particular, he's there saying all these things about Nancy Pelosi. Right now, the January 6th just released their latest video recordings and that, right? And you've got Nancy Pelosi there, right, in like where they've had to run to one of the back rooms or whatever, right? And now they're hiding, right? You've got Nancy Pelosi on the phone, on loudspeaker, right, shouting down the phone, "We need the National Guard," right? She's phoning all different states. "We need the National Guard." Right, think of this like it was the White House, right, or as if it was the Pentagon, right? "We need help now. Get the National Guard." She's on the phone. She's shouting this out, right? Her and Chuck Schumer and a few more, right? Even what's his face is there? Oh God, I forgot his name now. But so there's loads of right. So now, right, Steve Scalise is standing right next to her. He's standing right next to her, right, while she's doing that, right? And it's like, either you don't give a fuck, right, because there's a video camera in, right, taking videos of this, and they're professional videos, because it's Nancy Pelosi's daughter or granddaughter, right, who's a professional filmmaker who just happened to be following her on that day when that happened, right? So she's got a professional film crew with her. So it's not like they're taking this on a mobile phone. Right? There's a camera watching, and Steve Scalise still has the gall and the audacity to go out, right, and say, well, what was Nancy Pelosi doing, while he's standing behind her? This man has been humiliated on all sorts of TV in America at the moment. I mean, he's completely humiliated because, but that is the true, like, Conservatives, right? Lying, cheating, thieving arses, right, who should never be anywhere near politics, because these people are rotten from the core right through. They are disgusting, right? All their politics is disgusting. When you can stand there, you stand there like that, seeing what's going on, and then you will go and you will lie to your people. Now, are you stupid enough that you're not going to that you know that this is going to come out on camera and you're going to be all over the TV, right? And they're going to highlight. Well, why would you be, right? But you know what? The same scumbag Republicans will still vote for them. Still vote for them, right? And that's the difference between people from the left. Because you know what? If that was someone from the left, right, you would now need to leave politics. Straight away, you'd need to leave politics, because that's right. Because we don't do politics in that way. Nancy Pelosi was asking, right, about the welfare of the. She was speaking to the vice president, right, Mike Pence, and she was asking about his welfare, asking how he was doing, right, making sure that he was okay, telling him, listen, be safe, you need to watch yourself, because she knew that a lot of the Secret Service, right, all these people, right, had really bad intentions on that day. So, this is what I'm saying. These people, they're real scum. You know, Elon Musk has made some like a comments, some rude comments about the Ukraine, right? So the Ukraine obviously have taken offence to that. So now, and they said something about Elon Musk. So now Elon Musk said, well, you know what, I want to move my satellite system, right? So you can't get no more internet. So he basically said, well, I'm playing football, but because I'm losing, I'm taking my ball, I'm going home. Right, but he's gonna. This is the thing with a lot of these billionaires. What they should do is shut up, right? Because you know what? Nobody wants to hear what you think about politics, right? You billionaires, right? Just go buy yourself an island and a fucking yacht and fuck off and leave the rest of us alone, okay? A coal mine collapsed in Turkey. I don't know if you saw that. 14 people. I was supposed to do this video yesterday, right? Because yesterday was Monday. Today's Tuesday. I was supposed to, but these Just Stop Oil people have stopped me from working. Yesterday I was stuck in about. It took me 4 hours to do what normally takes me 50 minutes to an hour. It took me 4 hours to do it, right? So I couldn't do the video yesterday, but so today, and I've got to go a bit longer because of Just Stop Oil. But am I upset with these people? No, because you know what? I'm more upset with the government because really, you've got two people up on the structure of the Dartford crossing. Right, and round there, believe me, don't go anywhere near there, especially today. And yesterday was just horrendous. Today's horrendous again. I've just decided I'm not even going today, right? But you've got two people up on the structure, right? And it's got 4 lanes on this thing, so the police could really keep 2 lanes open. So believe me, all of this it's been done on purpose. So I'm not going to rail up myself and get annoyed about it. Do you know what I mean? Because really, if they wanted those people down, they could have got them down. You've got specialist police officers who work at heights, right? Failing that, they could have just sent some paratroopers in to go and get them down. Do you know what I mean? So they've got options what they could do, but obviously they don't want to take those options. They prefer the whole situation to just stay fucked up. Anyway, right, so I don't know if you've seen I think there's over 25 people killed in this mine that collapsed in Turkey, and I think there was over 50 people trapped. I haven't heard the rest of the story so far this weekend, but I'm sure quite a lot must be still going on. And ex Air Force pilots, right, are being stolen by the Chinese. Well, actually, the Chinese have offered them contracts of 250 grand to come over and train their pilots how to shoot down UK, Western pilots. Right? Now, this is what happens, isn't it? Because life, people need money. Right? Someone's offering you 250 grand. Right? A lot of people can say, you know what? I need that money. I mean, what do you want me to do? Live on the street? So a lot of the I think over 30 of our pilots must be ex RAF pilots have gone over and are over there training the Chinese pilots how to shoot down Western fighters. Humiliating. Mason Green has been charged with attempted rape and coercive behaviour and I believe assault, and his ass has been placed straight on remand because what was he thinking? He think because you know what, I'm part white. No, you're a fucking black man. Black people go to prison straight, right? White people might get, well, we're going to put you on, we're going to put you on a curfew. You stay at home, but we'll put you on a curfew. Right? No, black people go straight to prison with these type of things. So his ass has got. But I think this was like, there was something posted online. Do you know what I mean? There was something posted online about this. You know what I mean? I think it was a video of some type of event. Because he was arrested in January, so the police have taken quite a while to come to this. But I heard he has broken some bail conditions or something like that. But they went and charged him. They charged him anyway, and he was in court. He was in court yesterday, and they put him straight on remand. So he's just going to find out now. Robbie Coltrane has died at age 72. Can you believe that? Cracker is dead. I mean, I really like Robbie. Do you know what I mean? And, a lot of people might obviously know him from Harry Potter, but my favourite part that he played was in Black Adder, right? Where he played. He was the guy. He was the. I can't remember what his name was, but he was the one who wrote the dictionary. Don't ask me if it's Oxford or the Cambridge, but he was the one who wrote the dictionary, right? And Black Adder right, was there, and when he was, because he was like, he was introducing it to the king or to the prince, or whoever, right, and Blackadder was there, right, and he kept on making up new words, right, while this guy's just written this, and he's trying to, and he's making up new words, right. You know, Rowan Atkinson, really hilarious, but you know, I can't watch him no more because his brother is the UKIP councillor. So every time I watch anything about Rowan Atkinson, that's what I think about straight away. And he used to be one of my favourite. I mean, things like The Thin Blue Line, do you know what I mean, was just absolutely brilliant comedy. Do you know what I mean? Rowan Atkinson, you know, fantastic fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Johnny English, do you know what I mean? You know, Mr. Bean, all those things, just brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But can't watch him. The Met Police misconduct. New Commissioner Mark Rowley has said he can't believe the state and the things that he's seen, that he's read about, you know, that has gone on within the Met. I say, really, you know you've been a police officer, but why is it that these police officers can always say, well, I never saw none of that, never saw none of it, not one bit of it. But you know, a new report's come out that says, you know, that there's a lot of police officers out there who are racist and misogynistic, right, and really nasty pieces of work. You know, loads of them have got like loads of disciplinaries. One of them got 11 disciplinaries, right? You know, that he's been in front of the board 11 times, right? And things like assault and fraud. A lot of these people have got. These are the type of cases a lot of these people have got. Right, so, and then you've got that. Then they said, oh, and they're very racist because, you know, if you look at the ratio of black officers, right, who have complaints against them, right, and black and obviously Asian officers who have complaints against them, right, they said it's an unusually high number, so it must be down to racism. That's what the report has said. The report by Dame Louise Casey. Right, but you say, well, you know, have you people not read like the Stephen Lawrence report? The report that was brought out for the Stephen Lawrence thing. Do you know what I mean? You know, have they not read this? Of course they have. These people, so they've known these things all the time. None of this is nothing new. 3,000 food bank employees have written to the Prime Minister to say, listen, you know, we're struggling, right? You know, there are so much more people that are coming through the food banks, and we need help. Do you think they're going to help? Liz Truss has got a lot of things that she needs to do. And Therese Coffey, a woman who believes that everybody should have a slither of cake with every meal. And I still need some hip hop names for her because, you know, obviously I've got mine: heavy tea and iced coffee. Anyway, Therese Coffey has told nurses, listen, you can take a pay cut or you can leave. Basically, you know, the pay rise what they're going to give them works out to be a pay cut, but so she said, listen, you take a pay cut or you can leave, right? Because we can just get nurses from abroad. Not this whole about fucking Brexit, what Brexit was about, because now they're talking about, you know, these are, you know, when they're talking about nurses from abroad, these are going to be all brown people and black people, and you know, I don't mind, but I'm quite sure that the Brexiters are not going to be too happy with that. The Brexiters will prefer, you know what, I would prefer Nan to die rather than some fucking black or fucking Asian put their fucking hands on them. Let them fucking die. Fuck them. That's how the right wing mind thinks, because the right wing mind is colluded, so convoluted, right? And it's full of filthy racism. It's a gene that these people are born with, right? That's why they don't care if grandpappy, right, can't get help at home, right? So long as there's no bloody immigrants over here. I don't want some bloody Romanian looking after my granddad. No. Let him struggle by himself. It's the old-fashioned English way. Whew. Therese Coffey has said she wants to give pharmacists the right to hand out antibiotics as if they're sweeties. You know, Therese Coffey, you know, I don't know, you know, she seems to be saying a lot of things that people should be like quite worried about, because Therese Coffey has also said, right, that she gives her relatives, right, and her friends her prescription medication. And I said, Therese Coffey, do you realise that that right there is called supplying? Right? If you and your friends say, you know what, let's get a bag of weed. You go, you drive and get it. I'll wait here because our missus are coming home and someone needs to let them in. Right? So you drive off as the Good Samaritan to go and get the bag of weed for you and your friend. He's put £15 towards it. You've got your £15, so £30 worth, and you're driving back now, and the police stop you and say, "Whoa, what's this bag of weed here?" Say, "Oh, that bag of weed, officer, is for me and my friend. We've gone halves on it." They said, "Well, so you've gone and got it, and you're taking it back. You've gone halves on it, yeah?" "Yes." "Oh, right, well, normally, what we would do at this point, we would just normally take it off you and give you a street caution. But as you're supplying, because you going and getting it and bringing it back is supplying, we've got to now take you to the station, right, and go through this in a little more detail." But Therese Coffey can just admit, this is what I'm saying with these people. They're so entitled that they could just say, "Well, you know, that don't matter. That shit don't matter. Well, I could do as I want, and I could admit to criminal offences." That's just how it is, though. But then again, right, I don't really know the laws of if you give someone like your prescription, whether or not that will come down to the supplying laws. But of course, there's no money exchanged. So whether or not that can come down, but there's probably a way they can work it round that to make it, well, no, it's still supplying, you know, because that's what they would do for us. They would just bend the laws round for us to say, "Oh, no. Even though you didn't get any monetary gain, it's still supplying." And let's look at some Brexit, because I've gone well over on this video, but this is 2 days worth. So if you want someone to blame Just Stop Oil, but I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame Extinction Rebellion either for any of their actions. The new Mini is to be made in China. You know, the one that's got the UK flag in the rear lights. That one, it looks really nice, doesn't it? It does look nice, right? It's got the Union flag, right, in the lights, right? Because it's an good old fashioned British motor. Right, it's going to be made by the Germans in China, and that is Brexit. At least before we've been humiliated, them making our Mini better than, you know. Well, I've just got to say better than our old Minis, but I do prefer the old Mini. Right, if you gave me the choice, right, of the two, right, then I'm going to go for the old Mini Cooper S. Right, you know, top of the range one I'm going to go for, right. If you had the choice between a new Mini and an old one, that's what I'd go for, right. But they have made a fucking good job of it. I mean, they've really made a good job of the Mini, and I mean, it's really kept its sort of shape. I mean, it's bigger, but it's really kept it, you know, they've kept a lot that was about the Mini. They've just done it so much better than Austin used to do. The company that makes electric batteries in the UK needs a £200 million injection, or the ass is going to be leaving. It's all to do with Brexit, right, and to do with being able to get stuff straight, because, you know, a lot of these people, they rely on the just in time, and you know how we fuck the just in time up. So because of that, right, it's just, you know, it's just destroyed so much companies. You know, all these companies have just been destroyed. So they need a £200 million injection now, and they can hold the government to ransom, because they'll have enough. They'll have so much employees, and the government will not want this company to leave. A company that's going to make batteries for electric cars, you don't need them to leave, right? The Minis, you know, the new electric Minis already going to be made in bloody China, right? And why is it going to the bloody Chinese? That's what you have to ask. Why are you going to the Chinese? Because you're stupid racists, right? And you voted for this. You voted for your own demise. And that's what's going to the Chinese. The Daily Telegraph has said the Ramonas was correct about Brexit, and it's even worse than was predicted. Who? Those woke lefty idiots at the Daily Telegraph said the Ramonas was correct, and it's even worse than predicted. You damn motherfucking right, it's worse than predicted, right? Because all you have to do is just look around. Things are destroyed in this country. I don't even know how they're holding this shit together at the moment, because things are just, if you notice that, if you look at, like, say for example, like the pound shops, right? You look at the pound shops and everything's gone up by 25% on so much different things. That was £1 before, now they're £1.25, right? But then, obviously when you start relating that to bigger figures, right? You buy something for £100 before, and now it's 125, right? Or if it was 200, that's 250. You're 25%. So that's what we're talking about. So much things in this country have gone up by 25, 30, 40%. Bam! Like that. And all of that, right, is because of you people and your stupid ass racism. That's where it's got us. And those woke lefty morons, right, at the Financial Times, woke lefty morons at the Financial Times, who wrote that? I don't know. But those woke lefty morons at the never repeat their insult. Those woke lefty morons, right, at the Financial Times has said the British public really wants to rejoin the EU. If I was Boris Johnson, I'm just trying to think of that image, and it's not a good one. But if I was, right, I would have put into the EU and said to them, listen, we're going to leave, but what we're going to do is, if things go really bad, really, really bad, really bad, right, we're putting a clause that we can join back exactly in the position we was before. Yes? And the EU would have lapped that up. But you know what? Boris Johnson did not have the sense to do that. And now you're going to be asking the British public, well, if you want to rejoin or do this or do that, right, then you're going to have to accept the euro. And we're not going to want to accept the euro. I don't want to accept the euro, so we're not going to want to accept the euro. I don't mean because I don't want to accept the euro, we're not going to accept the euro. I mean, we're not going to accept the euro. Anyway, guys, look, I have to wrap this up because I've gone 17 minutes over my normal, but, right, I didn't do a video yesterday, and for that, we should blame Just Stop Oil. Right, and let's hope, right, that their ass gets down, right, because they're still up there, right. This was like 28 hours last time I heard, so we're about 31, 32 hours now that these motherfuckers have been up on this bridge, right, and I hope their ass is hungry. But they should get down. Anyway, I have to wrap this up, my friends. This, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.